ELEX, 42 эпизод. Ну, мы ничего важного не сделали, просто зашли в город и поговорили с нищим. Так, ну бургер с кровью, правда, у меня уже есть. Тут никого нету. А, окей, был. Так, человек с именем есть.
Did I invite you? Ah, Berserker. Strict on the laws of Goliath, are you?
What do you know about the laws of the Berserkers?
No standing in corners on Tuesdays, no technology on Thursdays, don't be rude to plants any day. I know the laws. You see, I grew up in Goliath. In fact, I've tried all the factions except the Elves.
You grew up in Goliath? Why did you leave?
That's a long story. If you're really interested in my tale, then I will tell you, of course.
What are you doing here in Avessa?
I take care of the mechs and drones here in the city, which means I coordinate and plan their maintenance and upgrades. When I'm lucky, I get to roll up my sleeves and do some of the actual maintenance, which I'm having to do quite a lot with all the technicians we're missing. Say, are you good with technology?
I know enough to work on Max.
You do? Maybe we could take you on in a permanent position here in the city.
Do you think they would employ me?
That's true. Alois has security concerns about taking anyone who's not been in the city long enough. So, yeah, maybe I should look for someone else. On the other hand, if you're looking for some part-time work, I could still use your help. I have 4 people I've been told I should look at for taking the technician's job, but I don't have time to gauge their abilities. Would that be something you could do for me? I'd pay you.
Yeah, I'll talk to your candidates.
Great. The 4 names I have are Daryl, Naira, Rorik, and Riley. Though I'm really not sure about Riley. There's something about him I don't trust. But speak to each of them and let me know whether you think they might have the right skills and abilities for the job. Oh, and I'll need you to let me know about their loyalties. You know, can they work with clerics? Do they hate us?
Ну да.
We'd be trusting them with the mechs and AI that defend the Dome City. So I don't want to employ anyone who might still be thinking about their faction, not our security.
I'm watching you.
Что? Кто? Кто watching? воры.
Who's prowling around out there? You should think about leaving.
Ну да, есть этот барьер. Окей.
Will you just leave?
И что?
There's nothing for you here.
Фига не согрелись. Все, ну вроде ничего интересного. Чего они так согрелись-то?
You don't stand a chance.
Я даже не вижу, откуда в меня стреляют.
Broadcasting to all the people, all the time.
Почему на меня напали вообще? Кто и зачем? Вроде больше не атакуют. А, окей, я понял. Там, я видел, репутация портится, из-за того, что кто-то еще туда носить стал.
Move along.
Yes. Is there something urgent? I have a lot. This city does not run itself. So, please excuse me if I'm short with you. This city is made up of a whole mass of confusion. Everyone looking for a new start. No one able to forget their past. They need a leader to hold things together.
People need laws.
Laws, leadership, however you want to call it. You, the berserkers, and we clerics are similar in this regard. Everyone here wants something. Whatever you're searching for, it will only add to the list of demands we already face. And providing for the people we already have is a logistical challenge. That means to accommodate everyone, we're on strict rations, and those rations have to be earned.
How long have you been in charge of the Dome City?
I've been in office for 8 years now, and it hasn't been easy. Maintaining a neutral position to the factions while fighting the Albs. By Kalan, there really are more pleasant posts they could have appointed me to.
What if someone wanted to replace you?
Some have tried, yet I am still here. This city was created by the Great Council of Magalan. They made the clerics custodians of this place and their legacy. The Great Council may be long gone, but what they stood for, a unity of purpose, a future for all of Magalan together, that is something we still believe in here. So, it is our job to remain neutral. It is our job to serve all, no matter their background, however hard our residents make it for us.
Listen, the council is gone. Why care about what they said?
You don't think that was a better time? Laws for prisoner exchange that assured borders, set rules for trade. Even if you don't care about the blood spilled since the council's rule was broken, the clerics swore to a code, and that includes keeping our oaths. And an oath was sworn to the council by my forefathers. That makes it my duty to see that oath is kept.
How are things here in the Dome City?
Tense. The battles out there are always reflected in here. Tensions run high if the outlaws attack the clerics, or the clerics attack the berserkers. And there's always the fear of an alb invasion. Those tensions drive greed, anger, and fear. There is war out there, and here your shards will be stolen from your hand if you aren't careful. It's like the world has gone crazy.
Why have things become so bad?
Yes, a whole host of reasons. Maybe it would help you if I tell you how things are. The berserkers have lived more and more reclusively ever since the pilgrim went into his retreat. The outlaws are more organized now the Duke has taken power, and the Alb separatists seek shelter with us to escape the powers in Zakor. All told, very dark signs that we face another global catastrophe. And here we are, in the middle.
Are you having a lot of trouble here in the city?
Keeping the factions together is always an issue. The outlaws are always up to something, but things have gotten worse, and to cap it all, we've had a sharp rise in thefts. I believe an organized group has started operating here. Not the usual outlaws. This group seems to be outside the faction.
И
From
такие
the
еще
little I've
бывают.
heard, they're more like a secret society than your regular set of theft mongers. I've offered a large bounty for any information that leads to their capture. And capture would be best. I want to find out who their connections are. If you can find out more about their secret society, I can make you rich.
Is there something I can help you with?
If you want to help, there is something that has to be taken care of quickly. You must have noticed that the mood is very heated here. One more issue, one wobble, and everything we've held together here will fall to pieces. One of my people has reported that the outlaws are expecting a weapons delivery. The last thing that this city needs is more weapons. And who knows who the outlaws will sell them to. I want you to intercept this delivery and bring it to me.
About... You've been using informers to try and catch them?
Of course. Information is key to keeping the peace. But there are always things you miss. And missing things leads to nasty surprises. And I'd rather be the one dealing those out than receiving them. Particularly when it comes to outlaws. Are you going to show me that you are the exception?
I'll take care of that problem for you.
Good. Very well then. Your target is a woman. Her name is Paige. Get her talking and hope that she brings you in on her plan. Take these shards. You may need them to buy yourself some trust. You'll have to find Paige yourself. She's a slippery customer, and we've lost track of her.
Contact? Is there something I should know about her?
Apart from the fact that she's one of the outlaws, no. As soon as you get those weapons, or any information, just make sure you bring them to me.
Ну окей. Раз уж верстак тут рядом, глянем. У меня один монолист есть. Блин, я реально не понимаю. Тут же есть мана просто в чистом виде. Почему просто мана не нужна для создания маны? Это супер странно. Да, в Dragon Age такое было в первой части. Во второй, по-моему, так же. В третьей там уже надо на М нажимать. Так, ну я сделаю один, но все равно есть так и сделаю, да. Ну, сначала по людям походить.
Welcome to our...
As the god Kalan has protected them out until this day, so he will always stand with us during difficulties. Kalan offers salvation and protection for all those who give
Странное место. Ты от кому вопрос задаешь, Фокс?
Hey, you're new here in the city, right?
Yes, I've just arrived.
I thought so. I saw you come through the gate, you see? Anyway, I want to ask you something, if that's alright. Have you been to Edan recently? To the Berserker's city of Goliad, to be exact. A good friend of mine is still there.
Who's your friend?
His name is Kral. He's a guard at the
Не
Mana Shrine.
помню.
At least, he was when I left.
Видимо,
He thought he
рандом
still had a
какой-то.
chance to save his brother, Grimar, from the Elm Converter. Do you know what happened to him?
А, стоп. Краль это... Это который пытался выбраться из берсерков, что ли?
Kral is dead.
No. Shit. Maybe if I'd stayed... You know, I was even planning how I could get to Goliad to see if I could get him out of there. I had this feeling something bad would happen to him. First his brother and then him. A curse on all of Edan. And thanks anyways.
Tell me,
Me? I was a worker at the pit. You know, I extracted ELEX from old machines so it could be transmuted into mana. I always wanted to join the Hooded Crows and learn the art of magic, but it wasn't to be. My parents forbade me from trying. My clan told me to stop trying. Not that any of that stopped me, and that's what got me banished. I stole mana from the shrine to try and learn magic myself, and I got myself caught. They sentenced me to exile in the Valley of the Damned, but I escaped. I'd seen the Dome City when I was sent on patrol, so when I left Edan, this was the place I thought of. And here I am.
Vivian sent me.
Is it about the technician job for the clerics?
Yes.
I'm interested, but I'm not sure that this is the job for me. I mean, I've not had much to do with technology. I've tried to learn since I came to Abessa, but I'm still only just starting out.
So, now you've left Edan. What do you think about the clerics?
I'm grateful they let me in. They don't bother me, and I don't bother them. I'm not a berserker anymore. I live here.
What experience do you have with technology?
Well, back in Goliad, I used to take machines apart. There aren't many I've not seen from the inside. Strange, really. My job used to be to get rid of technology, but now all I want to do is put it back together. The clerics make some incredible things. I mean, just look at the dome. That's an amazing feat of engineering.
If you get orders you don't like, will you run away from here like you did from Edan?
I don't know. But the clerics don't ban some people from doing some things and not others. If I want to learn about technology, they'll let me. They're the same with everyone.
I've heard enough.
Okay. Right. I'll see you then.
Another berserker we have to feed? Well then. Tell me your tale of woe. Why did you run away from Goliath?
I didn't run away.
Well, on your head be it. You're the one facing exile if they find out you're here. Make sure you say I told you to leave. We have enough problems here, especially with these damn separatists.
Who are you?
Caleb, I lead the berserkers who've chosen to settle here in Odessa.
You are separate from the berserkers in Idan?
We have kept our beliefs, but left behind the laws. We have set our own rules here. Well, none of
Понятно.
us are allowed to return to Idan now, or we just end up being sent to the valley. As to why they came here, well, the first settlers were sent to Odessa to plant a world heart to expand the forest of Idan out here. But they were cut off from Idan by the Alps, left on their own to survive. And after a while, they decided to keep it that way. The warlords in Goliath weren't happy. But they're stretched too thin for another conflict, so here we are. And since they settled here, others have joined us. Some are escaped exiles, others just chose to leave Idan.
What do you have against the separatists?
They are coming here, to our city. The only city with a real chance of peace among the factions. If it was up to me, then we would make sure these Alps went somewhere else. They might say we have the same goal, the same enemy, but I don't believe a word of what they say. Who says they aren't spies sent here to deactivate the dome? They can't be trusted.
You want to have all the separatists thrown out of the city?
Yeah. And you know what? I have already started to make it happen. I'll recruit anyone who'll help get this done. We have an eyewitness who claims to have seen the separatists exchanging information with the Alps. Traitorous bastards.
Who is this eyewitness?
The berserker Jorg saw Fenk meet with an Alb in front of the city. Why would they meet if it wasn't to exchange information about the dome? Sadly, Jorg is the only one who's seen Fenk. And now he started saying he isn't sure he really saw Fenk meet an Alb from Zapor. So I have to jog Jorg's memory, or make sure he stops denying what he said. There has to be a way to do that.
You don't think that Jorg could have been wrong in the first place?
No, never. You can't trust these separatists. They'll betray us sooner or later for sure. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning.
I can make sure Jorg stops denying his story.
You can? Do you think you can make Jorg stick to his original story? It's for the good of the city. So go to Jorg and make sure he doesn't talk. Either help jog his memory a bit, or make sure he stays quiet. I don't care which. It can never be said again that the Alps might be innocent.
Why would you even say that?
What does a forest dweller want with me? To drive me off? Or maybe even have me killed? You don't scare me. Your people are a plague upon this land. Although, there's something different about you. Do you usually spend time with people like us?
Были ли женщины до этого из альбов? Честно, не могу вспомнить. Вроде бы нет.
I was an Alp myself once.
Yes. You stopped taking ELEX. That is rare, which makes me question how you did it.
Vivian sent me about the technician job.
I am without question the best candidate they will find. Therefore, selecting me is the logical choice. But I need proof that the clerics are really willing to work with me. If I am to work for the clerics, then I would like to be paid. The free people seem to value shards above all things, and so payment would be proof that they take me seriously.
What are your qualifications for this job?
I served as the battlefield technician for my unit in Zakor. I have already discovered errors in the AI systems of the clerics' mechs, and I would be able to modify them. Even the dome isn't running as efficiently as it could. That is another thing I could improve.
Do you think you can work with the clerics?
I think it would be better if this city was led by an alb or a machine. But I understand that it isn't up to me to determine this. So yes, I could imagine working with them in the existing circumstances, despite their inefficiencies.
Have we got enough guards on duty? It never feels like we have enough.
If I... Good. Then you have made your decision. I will not...
I wonder if he was serious about that.
Are you here to seek shelter or to cause problems? This area is a sanctuary for refugees. There's nothing here for reavers, recruiters, or troublemakers.
I'm not a reaver.
Then I hope that means you're here to help.
What brought you out here?
This is a place away from the war. A place people can make up their minds without being pressured to join one of the factions. If the people here wanted to join a faction, they would have. But some people aren't ready for that. Or they've been cast out. They have to go somewhere.
So there's no faction in charge here?
Well, the clerics keep order, but it's not like the Horde where entry means you have to join them. Here you can forget about factions.
А, то есть, ну да, логично. Ну, я, в принципе, ничего не делал такого, так что пофиг.
Are you always so edgy?
You know you wouldn't need to diffuse things if you didn't get people wound
Ну,
up in the first
edgy.
place. Damn, this is like being back in Goliath all over again.
You're a berserker. Is Adan trying to conquer Abessa?
I don't answer to Adan. And these people belong to no faction. They belong only to themselves. I stand as their protector against anyone who would force them to do otherwise. My only connection to Adan is my magic. I wish it was more, but wishes don't make things so.
Have you been exiled from Goliath?
Exiled? No. There are those in Adan who want to use my magic for their own purposes. Ever since my power started to grow,
Yeah.
they changed me. Their mana changed me, and that change just won't stop. I'm becoming stronger and stronger. It is terrifying.
Интересно.
If that's true, why don't you use your power?
I do, I have. But sometimes it overwhelms me. That's why I fight alone. If I lose control of a spell, there's a chance I could kill anyone and everyone around me. The warlords wanted to test me. Try my powers, to harness them. Now I need to find a solution myself. But to do that, I need to study the properties of ELEX, to learn more about it.
I could use someone like you.
Use? There's a word I've heard too much. Well, count me out. I'm not interested in being used.
I could help you.
What do you know of what I need? What do you know of how to help me? ELEX marks people. Mana, chems, exposure from food tainted by it. It stays with people. You have its mark on you. You're different somehow. What is it about you?
I took ELEX in the past. Is that what you're seeing? Or is there something else?
Took it? You were fed it. You were an Alb soldier. Well, it seems we have something in common. We've both been fed ELEX in one form or another.
По-своему.
It's changed us. And neither of us know what that means we are now.
What do you think? My offer still stands.
And what exactly is it that you're planning?
I am going to end this war by taking the fight to the Elexitors. And I'm trying to put together a group skilled enough to win that fight.
And you think I'll take part in this?
In return, I will help your quest to find the ELEX you're searching for. Then you can improve your magical abilities. You said yourself, the longer you are here, the more you fear your powers will overwhelm you. The longer you stay here, the more danger you put these people in. If you really want to protect them, you need to leave.
Even if that's true, why should I leave with you?
Дипломатия, блин.
I know ELEX and I know magic. I know the impulses that follow you even during sleep. I know the nightmares and the problems of trying to control power that really wants to control you. And I know what it's like when all that is taken from you. We can help each other.
And it's not like I have other options. Not in the long term. You're right. I'm hiding from it here. I need to get out there and find a real solution. I'll wait by the main gate, and we'll see if your actions can match your words. You should stock up here before we go.
I will meet you by the gate.
Just don't keep me waiting, and you might find I changed my mind.
I heard he was sleeping around. No
Stop being an
surprise he got
asshole.
himself in trouble.
Well, well. I've heard a lot about that. I'm not sure I believe it.
Ah, the gift and treasures of travel, for it brings new encounters. So what are you? Merchant? Bounty hunter? Or a nobody, like most people out there?
I'm a berserker.
Well, someone has to be. Those trees don't hug themselves after all. But as far as I see it, the way we are now, we should get along wonderfully with each other. I mean, otherwise, you wouldn't have even spoken to me, right?
How do people live here?
Here, smoke one with me, before you start bombarding me with questions, yeah? I have the best stuff here.
I don't smoke.
Well, that's your choice. From time to time, you need to open a door in your head and look inside, right? But if you won't, then all the more for me. That done, let's get into the real business.
What business?
Real business. A proper opportunity. You see, the clerics have had this city under their control for years. And the Duke thinks they're planning to take control everywhere, sooner or later. And he thinks the Dome City could be the starting point for their military campaign. So, my job is to find out if he's right. If there is something brewing that could be dangerous for us in Tavar.
What information have you gathered about the clerics?
Pretty much nothing so far. They've not been very loose-lipped around me. I must sorta stand out.
So, you want me to be your spy?
I want you to find out information. Now, I can see in your eyes that you haven't fallen for the cleric's tricks. You aren't simple enough to believe every piece of troll shit you're fed.
What do you expect from me?
All that you have to do is get some answers out of somebody, and I've even got the guy lined up ready for you. His name is Lutz. He's one of Alois's technicians. As far as I know, he's trying to re-establish communications with the other clerics in Ignadon. While Alois will tell you the clerics here are neutral.
И правда
separate from
странно.
the ones in the Horde. Go and grill Lutz. Find out if there'll be an offensive soon. Do that, then come back to me as soon as you have any useful information.
How many shards are you talking about?
Enough. The Duke is generous. I pay. That much you can be sure of.
Понятно, он тоже шпион, по сути.
Why do you think that these technicians will know about the cleric's plans?
Because he's the guy that maintains all the communications equipment. He must have heard something from the comms. And he's more likely to talk than anyone further up the chain. I want to know what he's heard. I need to know what he knows.
Where can I find Lutz?
If he's not on a call, then he's usually working maintenance on one of the generators. Just walk along the battlement path up at the top. It can't be far.
Vivian sent me to talk to you about the technician's job.
Yeah, good. And I'd like to apply for the job. And I'm willing to pay any price to get it. While I'm certain there must be people better qualified than me, there isn't anybody who will pay you as much as I will.
How How good are you with technology?
Absolutely crap. I don't know one end of a screwdriver from, well, a hammer, to be honest. But I'm a fast learner, and if I have someone I can ask, then the rest won't be a problem. And did I mention the whole financially rewarding aspect of selecting me as the candidate?
What do you think about the clerics?
What's this got to do with the job? This job is about technical reliability, and I can assure you that I am technically reliable. And as for my interests, you can count on me being a pacifist. I want to do anything to avoid a war, and the better access I have to new information, the better equipped I'll be to ensure a war doesn't suddenly break out without anybody seeing it coming.
I've heard enough.
Okay. And remember to put in a good word for me with Vivian. I'll make it worth your while.
Thanks.
I have to go.
Oh, yeah?
Sure of that.
Why are you torturing yourself over that?
The fight is the only thing that matters. That makes it real.
Hey, you. Hey, it's you.
Yes, Frank. It's me, Jax.
I heard they shot you down. That you were dead. Apparently that was wrong. But if you're here, does that mean you're a separatist now? Will you stay here and support our cause? I'm sure you would be very welcome.
What cause?
We've broken free from Zakor, from being slaves to ELEX. And we've worked, persuaded people to allow us
Тоже
into the
перестали
city.
принимать.
And now we're here. We are working to be allowed to stay. Would you be willing to help us?
I will give you my support.
Good. We have to stick together. People blame us for this war, even though we left Zakor to escape it. They will doubt us until the day peace begins. I mean, they don't even trust each other. Among all these warring people, all these different agendas, we, you and I, share a similar destiny. It's the only way anyone will survive.
It seems like you're tolerated here in the city.
That is exactly what we are. Tolerated. We are still a long way from being accepted. This city is a place of freedom, but all the old suspicions remain. The outlaws claim they are being oppressed. The clerics say they are neutral, but they aren't. The berserkers, they don't seem to know what they're doing, apart from avoiding their laws. We are trying to discover who we are. I think people see that we are all here for a new start.
Do you need help?
It is good that you offer to help us. The berserkers are already trying to get us thrown out of the city. We need the protection offered by this place. We won't survive without it. We've persuaded people here that we are worth a chance. But there will always be those who won't see it that way. And the Albs and Zakor want us dead. If we're to stay, we need someone to get to Caleb and York. They are key to our future.
Ну, опять это имя.
About the threat of you being thrown out of the city. What is the problem with Caleb and York?
York is a berserker. He's accused us of spying for the Albs and Zakor. He claims he saw us handing over information about the shield generators. It's completely illogical. We are the ones with the most to lose if Zakor captures this city. But the free people are prisoners to emotion. It makes them doubt logic. They have already thrown one of our group out of the city. Now they are threatening the rest of us with the same fate. We are no friends of the Alps and Zakor. They would see us dead. We want this to be our home now. We need the free people to understand this.
I will help you.
Good. That is the response I wanted. It is best if you go straight to York. Caleb is already attempting further arguments to ensure our expulsion. But it is York's statement that has put us in danger. That lie underpins Caleb's argument against us. If people believe we are working with the enemy, we will be exiled from the city and left to die. But if Jorg confesses his lie, then Caleb would no longer have the proof. They would have no
здесь
reason
нужно
to expel
выбрать.
us.
What good?
Так, ну если что-то интересное будет. ELEX Рой, у меня, ну и так в запаске есть. Инструкции все у меня тоже есть. Верстаков много.
Are you thinking of stealing something?
Не-не-не. Даже не думал.
Well, the outlaws, being away from home, you'd think they'd care less. That makes the outlaws are the worst. All people are welcome here, but that means there's a half dozen outlaws hanging around. They just want to get in to cause trouble. I mean,
You want the...
whoa, whoa! I just want them to... You mean the threat on our doorstep?
Нет, то есть их можно поубивать. Если сильно захотеть. Кстати, это что, черный выход какой-то? Реально, походу.
So, you come here from Goliath?
Goliath? No. I was exiled to the valley before I came here.
You escaped in a crate?
I don't know. What have you heard? If I don't know that.
Hey, you. You don't have any broken energy weapons, chainswords, or anything like that? That sort of thing is my business. So if you find any, bring them to me. I'll give you good prices for them.
Did you flee here from the desert?
Flee? No. But to live in Tavar, you need shards. And despite my talents, I wasn't one of the Duke's favorites, and that made making a profit hard.
You think it's better here?
Yes, for sure. For me, at least. And those berserkers are the worst for it. One of those assholes killed my friend for fun. Now that bastard is focused on me and nobody's helping me. Even though they know it'll be their turn next, and keeping their head down won't save them.
Who is this
Braback. A bull of a man and twice as ugly. Bone-breaking bastard.
About... Where can I find...
He's usually near the inn. Just follow your nose. You'll deal with him? That would be great. Really great. You won't find me trying to put you off that. If you think you can scare him off so he leaves me alone, that would... Even if I do, I think ramming a knife into his guts would be a better approach. I would have tried that myself. But if I'd failed... But if you do get rid of him, however you do it, then I will pay you.
Let's try.
Okay.
Так, ну самогона у меня, в принципе, пока тоже есть в запаске. Что покупать больше мне пока ничего не нужно.
Huh. What do we have here? Fresh meat? How did you get the guard to let you into the dome? They obviously don't consider berserkers a threat. However you got in, you're going to find it even harder to get out. The clerics are a little jumpy at the moment. You might say paranoid. So, when they do let someone in, it does make me wonder who they are and why the clerics thought letting them in was a good idea.
If it's so hard to get in, what are you doing here?
I got in before things got so paranoid. And I came here for profit, of course. Lots of nervous people close to the Alps tend to be willing to invest shards in their safety, you see. And getting hold of supplies is hard out here. So, if you can get them, you can sell them for a high price. Well, that was the plan. Now, the clerics have stopped me trading and cut off all the supplies.
And you just let them do that?
Of course I didn't let them. But getting around their ban isn't simple. It's impossible to get by the guards without an ID card. And they took mine from me as part of their crackdown. Now they say I'm causing trouble. But what else is a businesswoman supposed to do when she has her business taken from her?
About?
Yeah, don't tell me. Trade. But this is about self-defense. The only person who can stop a person with a gun is a person with an even bigger gun. Am I right? I mean, what? Are we supposed to throw rocks at the Alps when they attack? But the clerics want to keep all the guns for themselves and screw the rest of us. They call it neutrality, but I say it's oppression.
Sounds like you could use some help.
Yes, I could. Still, let's say he's right. And that I could get a hold of supplies. Not from Tavar, obviously. They've blocked that route. Let's say I could get some weapons from the Separatists, for example. Let's say they have weapons and need shards. And that they also have the business acumen of a stunned troll, so they need a salesperson. Me, for example. What if I was to say that? And what if I was to say that I have to find someone who could enter and leave the city freely? If I was to say that, then what would you say?
Do you really think you can trust the Separatists?
I can't leave without profit. Hell, right now I can't eat without profit. So I need this deal. So if you blab, what have I lost? Nothing. And without any guns to show, it's just your word against mine. And even Alois isn't going to see that as justice.
I could help you get your weapons.
Good. Right. So, this is what you need to do. Leave the city and find a separatist called Radok. I think he's a separatist. But whatever he is, he's a mad fucker. I can't make sense of most of what he says. But he has the weapons, and he likes trade. I think he likes trade. It's hard to tell. He wants to sell the weapons, but you'll have to work on him, okay? He won't just hand them over.
Where can I find Radok?
Up in the Highlands. When we last spoke, he told me he was going to head over to the northeast. He mentioned an abandoned wind turbine. With luck, he'll still be out there.
Такс. Что тут пишется? Ну, как сказать... как бы... Типа мы уёбки, и на этом все. Не сильно хороший аргумент. Ну... Двуличные это, с одной стороны, да, тоже нехорошо, но, опять же, двуличные не все же. Далеко не все. И в структуре своей, сама структура изначально не двуличная, про берсерков. С клириками я хуже знаком. То есть, да, само собой, много недостатков. Но, по крайней мере, ну, делают они реально какое-то дело, ну, которое считают реально благим. Ну, типа, сажают деревья, выращивают природу, типа, восстанавливают. Не, ну, я же не говорю, что кто-то из них там идеален, но в них хотя бы смысл есть. Так, ну надо теперь думать с некоторыми квестами, что делать.
Hey, have you... Thanks. And since you have helped me, I'll make sure my come back in a few days, yeah?
Ну, кстати, мне очень интересно, что случилось с этим скитальцем, или как там его, или... Скиталец, да, по-моему. Мне кажется, в этом есть какая-то история тоже. Такс.
Did someone tell you you could come in here?
There's nowhere near enough ELEX out there for that.
So that didn't work. About the...
Yeah?
Naira doesn't want the job.
Why not?
She wanted to be paid in advance.
Then I agree with you. I want someone dedicated to the task, not to shards. That on top of the risk of letting an alb into our technology? You're right. Let's forget about her.
Ну, блин, на самом деле... По-хорошему ее нужно выбирать. С Рюрика особо смысла нет. Возьму, наверное, Дарлах, он хотя бы заплатит. Хотя он мне не нравится.
You should make the outlaw Daryl your technician.
Well, I said we might be able to trust an outlaw, but tell me what it was that convinced you.
Я сохранялся же.
He knows his way around technology.
Ah, that is good to know. I want to believe you. I don't want to judge him by his faction, but I've been warned against hiring outlaws. I hope you're right about him, so... Well, fine. We will see. I will take him on. Thank you for helping. Here. I'd better go and take care of my new recruit right away. This should secure us going forward. At least I hope so.
Зайду за ней, просто чтобы забрать, да. потом все остальные квесты.
Hey, you.
Let me guess. I'm not allowed into the upper quarter?
What? No, everyone's allowed to move about freely here. I just have a question for you. You got here recently, right? I just want to know what things are like outside the dome. What's going on up there? Are the Albs attacking?
There are raids, but there have been no major assaults recently.
I'm sure that's just the calm before the storm. I just hope the dome holds. There's a lot of people depending on this dome of mine, so they pass us by like a river around a rock. Kalan gave us the knowledge, and now look what we've achieved. A safe harbor for all people. The clerics and Ignodons say we've strayed. I say we've found the true path.
You built the dome?
I designed the plans for it.
Yeah.
My name is Eric, chief engineer here in the dome. I'm in charge of all the generators and technicians who oversee them.
Why don't the clerics have a dome like this in Ignodon?
The dome requires immense amounts of energy, and the fluctuations in it have to be constantly balanced. The technology is complex. That means there's no way to
Да, я так подумал. Слишком большой.
Besides, the cliffs around Hort give it a natural protection.
Can this dome survive an Alb attack?
Of course. Why do you think we built it? As long as we can maintain a constant energy flow, then they can't get in. Unfortunately, achieving that isn't so easy. Some of the energy regulators are starting to malfunction again.
I can repair the energy regulators for you.
Thanks for the offer, but that's not necessary. I've already repaired the components. They just haven't all been installed yet.
How many?
Well, all of them. But Lutz hasn't received his yet. I wanted to do it I thought you berserkers did.
Do you want my help?
Cause outweighs the means, huh? Well, you help me and maybe I'll plant some trees later in your honor. I have the energy regulator here. Please, take it to Lutz and help him to install it. Come back to me when you're done.
Так, ну сначала я сбегаю за женщиной.
What kept you?
I'm here now.
So you are. And are you planning on telling me where you've set up camp or what comes next?
Okay, I'll tell you what's happened so far.
You've done a lot, but you still have got a lot of work ahead of you. Or we have.
And we're not going to get where we need to without a jetpack.
Don't worry, I know how to use one of those.
Как удобно.
Now can we talk about my problem? There's just one more thing.
Yes.
Why did you choose to join the Berserkers?
To begin with, it seemed like the best way to survive.
But that isn't everything.
My own people tried to kill me. I want to find answers, and joining a faction has to help me find them.
I hope you're not just doing this for your own personal reasons.
А мне не очень.
You said you wanted to study the properties of ELEX. How will you do that?
I can feel the presence of ELEX. Mostly where it's present in great quantities.
Like the converter?
You don't need any special powers to feel the ELEX there. No, I'm talking about unrefined ELEX. When it's raw, latent. I can learn more from it when it hasn't been altered. I want to explore Magalan and look for some large deposits of unrefined ELEX.
Deposits? I thought ELEX arrived with the comet.
You're right. Part of its power is that it isn't from here. I want to discover how it is spread across Magalan. But when it is processed by the Albs, the ELEX changes. It becomes polarized. The transmuted form that the Berserkers get from their mana shrine changes it in similar ways. That keeps some of its power, but it's the ELEX that came with the comet that I want to learn more about. I feel that it that there are secrets to learn about it. To understand those secrets, I needed untouched, pure ELEX.
How do you want to find these large ELEX deposits?
When the comet impact spread ELEX across Magalan, it found its way everywhere. Into the seas, the rock, the air we breathe. But it is collected and concentrated in some places. I have felt the vibrations, the presence of these
А
deposits.
почему бы не помочь?
I want to track them down and examine them.
Where can you find this unrefined ELEX?
The first deposit I'd like to investigate is north of the city of Abessa. I can show you.
If it's so close.
I don't know. Maybe because nobody can feel ELEX like I can.
Your senses are better than ALB technology.
Come with me and find out.
All right.
It's not far from the city.
Черт, а прям квест начинается. Ладно. Я хотел сейчас остановиться.
There is a vast amount of ELEX flowing into the sea. It washes out of the cliffs and the ground, and it flows out across the planet. ELEX is everywhere.
But you still think we need to find concentrations of it?
Yes, from the moment the comet struck, ELEX has been seeping into everything on Magalan. That makes the background noise from it hard to read. If I'm to learn more, we must follow those mutants to find where the ELEX is coming from. We know where we have to go. I'll follow you this time. That was great.
Окей. Нормально.
I'm better at sensing ELEX than any person I know. But there are mutants with the same ability. We should be careful in case the ELEX deposit has attracted them.
Окей, хорошо. Что ж. Начали заниматься купольным, присоединили персонажа. Пойдем сейчас выполнять квест. Но у меня вроде манный запас есть, так что будем разбираться. Конец записи.